Shall we go ahead and get this party started? Let us begin this meeting of the Planning and Zoning Commission. First up on our agenda is the approval of minutes for October 20th. Can I have a motion?
So moved. To approve.
Second.
All those in favor of approving the minutes for October 20, 2021, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Moving on. Okay, the first item on our public hearing agenda is case number SV 2021-006. Applicant Kevin Maynard, representing Maynard Holdings Incorporated, is requesting a subdivision waiver from section 155.6.11 sidewalk requirements to be constructed at 331 Choctaw, parcel R34558, being lot 4 of the Trotter addition to the city of Stephenville, Erath County, Texas. Mr. Keller.
Yes, ma'am. Madam Chair and Commissioners, I think some of us are having difficulty with our tablets, so I've got it up here on the screen if you can see that. Follow behind us. These are for a PowerPoint. There will be a later case, but if you can look over your shoulder, I've got this monitor up. So, Madam Chair, if it's the pleasure of the board, I'm going to make some comments about this particular case that will apply to the next all the cases relating to sidewalk, curb, and gutter that Mr. Maynard is requesting. And so, to begin, I would like to just state that these properties that Mr. Maynard has recently purchased were developed by a gentleman that just recently had those properties platted. So he had worked on the development of these 4 lots, had them rezoned, installed water and sewer, and went through the plan review process, had his lots, brought a final plat to us, and since then has sold the property. And so Mr. Maynard acquired these properties, 3 of the 4 lots, and has secured Vince Daddio for the home builder. They intend to build single-family homes on the property. And that's what led to the request, the waiver request for sidewalk, curb, and gutter. Mr. Daddio, again, has been secured for the home builder, and he has been authorized by Mr. Maynard by letter to represent these requests tonight. And so what I'd like to point out to you, as city staff, we are basically programmed to say that we recommend that these be denied because it is required by city ordinance. However, if you'll scroll down to, in your packet, this is on the first page, the staff report. I'm on page 4 of the staff report, and it speaks of what the criteria should be for the P&Z and council to grant a waiver for these type of requirements. And so it speaks of an undue hardship and challenges related to the development of the property that would make that property less developable by the person that owns the property. Also, it requires a burden of proof that rests with the applicant. And so I just want to point that out, that it's not necessarily, it's not financially feasible, it's not related to my opinion or his opinion or anyone else's opinion. It is based on the shape and dimension and topography and the developability of the property. So just wanted to point that out to you. Again, we have a letter of authorization, which is up on the screen. And then relating to the previous developer, Public Works has shared with me that the developer had constructed the water and sewer utility, and on the engineer certified statement relating to the as-built records, it was stated that the sidewalks, curb, and gutter, along with pavement widening, would be constructed after the lots were developed and driveway cuts were located. And so that's the documentation that the city has from the previous developer. And then also included in your packet, Mr. Daddio has provided some pictures that I'm sure he'll want to comment on when he has the opportunity to address the board. So with that, these are my comments that will pretty well apply to the sidewalk waiver request. The only variation with the curb and gutter cases would be that we have 2 letters of opposition for each of those curb and gutter waiver requests. With that, ma'am, I'd be glad to answer any questions.
Commissioners, do you have a question?
I have a couple. One, if, I need to make sure that I'm understanding what you said correctly, that the previous owner, under their replat of this property, was to do these things, is that correct?
When they were developing the property and under civil review, when their engineer, when they came to the point of submitting their letter of certification, that letter of certification and the acceptance of the public improvements indicated that the curb, gutter, and sidewalk would have to be constructed when the lots were actually developed, as in this case, the home being built on the property.
And that was part of the replat?
Part of the
Original
approval of the public work improvements. And the final plat was filed because those public work improvements were accepted by the city, and then the final plat was filed.
There's also an email from Mr. Williams who states that all items need to be installed?
Sidewalk, curb, and gutter by ordinance, yes, sir.
Okay, he's just referring to ordinance at
Yes,
that point.
sir.
He wasn't referring to any certain circumstance that...
Sidewalk, I don't, obviously, the drainage issue there, that's more for the transit aspect of it.
Okay, but the
but
curb and gutter
curb and
for the
gutter,
drainage,
I believe,
he's making a recommendation of.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Kevin, in the information provided to the city, is what's in our packet, all the information that you have as exhibits for these 4 cases?
No, sir, that's not the full set of the civil
Okay.
plan, no.
You commented that at the beginning, part of this is a hardship request.
Yes, sir. The ordinance for a waiver request indicates that it needs to be based on a hardship, which is not necessarily defined as a financial hardship.
Did the applicant provide any proof, as the ordinance requires a burden of proof, that there is a hardship and why there's a hardship? Was any of that information
The
provided?
application did not specify any particular hardship.
So the application is incomplete?
Not
Because
necessarily.
If,
Um,
if what I'm understanding is that they're requesting the waiver because it's a hardship, but the hardship is not explained and there's no burden, there's no proof evidence as to why that would create a problem in accordance with the ordinance, it would seem to me that that information is missing, and so the application would be incomplete with regard to that request, because there's no, if the burden of proof is on the applicant, he can't apply. It doesn't seem to me that he can realistically request that it's a burden not to put it in and not provide proof of the burden.
Fair statement. However, the application would still have to be reviewed by P&Z, and we do have the applicant present tonight, and I'm sure that Mr. Daddio is prepared to discuss the reasons behind his application.
Okay. Any further questions for Steve? Okay. Mr. Daddio?
Sure.
Okay, if you could please address these issues, and then after that, we'll open a public hearing on this.
Thank you for having me. We did not request this waivers on any hardship basis. It was never mentioned, never asked for. So that's not on the table, something as far as a hardship. It's more of an aesthetic thing and fitting with the neighborhood. If you look at the pictures I provided, there are 3 photos for, that is the entry right there coming into Dale Street. The next picture that'll come up is looking down, if they're in the right order. No, that's on Choctaw Street.
Yes.
The one lot, I believe it's it may be lot 2, that faces Choctaw. If you go to the next photo,
Lot 4 faces Choctaw. 1 and 4 face Choctaw.
Mr. Daddio, would you like me to scroll through these?
There's only
so-
one lot of ours that faces Choctaw.
So the 4 that are there, which ones are you building?
We only own 3.
Oh, so lot number 1's a different builder.
Yes, correct.
This is the whole Choctaw Street.
That is correct, Tom.
Okay.
Okay, now we're back at the entry to Dale Street. There's 2 lots that face Dale Street. I took several photos going down the street. We're back on the other street now. So, let's go ahead, next slide, and see if we're on the same street. This is Choctaw, it bends around, I took some other photographs. The one lot being built on right now, as you can see, if you go to the next photo, okay, that's Choctaw. On your left is where the lot in question is. I believe it's lot 2. That whole neighborhood does not have any sidewalks. There is a curb on both sides of that street. That's why we did not ask for a waiver on a curb, just the sidewalk. If the gentleman that owns the other lot puts a sidewalk in, it'd probably be appropriate to have a sidewalk on this one as well. I see no difference there. But in light of what's in the neighborhood, there are no sidewalks. There are curbs there already. If we can go over to the Dale Street, which has 2 lots facing Dale Street.
Madam
Yeah.
Chair, point of order. Are we discussing all 5 of these cases at this point, or are we just discussing this one case? The item number 2?
Yeah, we are just referring to this one case, so let's go ahead
Okay.
and leave it at that. Let's
Okay.
just leave it specifically to the
Choctaw?
the 331 Choctaw
Okay.
and the sidewalk. So if I'm understanding correctly, your request for a waiver is strictly based upon aesthetics. The rest of the
Yes,
neighborhood doesn't
right.
have them, therefore
It'd be
why
the
should
only
this?
house on the street outside of the gentleman that my client purchased from. He may be putting a sidewalk in.
Okay, thank you. Let's just leave it at that, and then as
Sure.
we go through and hear
Yeah,
each item,
not a problem.
we'll discuss it.
Sounds
Okay,
good.
so let's go ahead and open a public hearing. Is there anybody here who wishes to speak in favor of this request? Any who wishes to speak against? All right, then we will close the public hearing. Commissioners, we need a motion so that we can discuss.
I'll make a motion that the subdivision waiver be granted in this case.
I'll second.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
The application does not really discuss, or at least the information we have, why they want the waiver. And it seems to me that aesthetics of the neighborhood is not a reason for providing the sidewalk, which is needed in all our neighborhoods in this city, and which is why the ordinance was there. The fact that it's not there is that the ordinance came into view after this subdivision, years after this subdivision was put in place. So it seems to me that if we begin granting waivers because of aesthetics, we open the door, the Pandora's box, that we're not gonna be able to close when other builders come in and say, well, you didn't grant it here, so, or you did here because the neighborhood doesn't have them. The aesthetics has nothing to do, in my mind, with the neighborhood. The fact that the neighborhood was there before the ordinances took place, the fact that these lots have been vacant for a while, and it was on the original developer's plat to put, on the civil, to put them in, it doesn't make sense for us to grant the waiver on that merit. Because I think it creates a problem.
Yeah, this is a Pandora's box that we have already opened and has come up again and
This has been
again.
open quite some
Yeah.
But I think we need to close it.
Yeah, I'm with you, Mr. Hines, I agree.
But according to what we had passed here back in June, with the letter from Tim Trotter and everything before the property was sold, everything's already been approved. It's on file to be done with the city, needs to be taken care of. Paperwork's already in place.
So you're in agreement that this waiver should be denied? Okay. Nick, do you have anything to add? Are we ready to vote? Okay, so the motion currently stands that we recommend to council granting this waiver. And we're going to do a roll call vote. Mr. Hines, are you in favor?
No.
No. Bruce?
Yes.
Justin?
Yes.
I'm a no,
No.
Yes.
and Nick's a yes. So what do we have? We've got
3-3.
1, 2, 3, 3, 3. So this moves forward to council with no recommendation, correct?
Correct, that is correct.
So this will go forward to council, and the final decision will rest with them. So it will move forward as a split vote. Okay. Moving on to our next item on our agenda, case number SV 2021-007. Applicant Kevin Maynard, representing Maynard Holdings Incorporated, is requesting a subdivision waiver from section 155.6.11 sidewalk requirements to be constructed at 250 Southdale, parcel R77244, being lot 3 of the Trotter addition to the city of Stephenville, Erath County, Texas. Steve.
Madam Chair, I can simply say that my comments are the same for this case. I'd be
Okay.
glad to, revisit those if necessary, but I have nothing to add other than this is, again, for sidewalk and not necessarily curb and gutter, so the letters of opposition do not apply to this case.
Thank you, sir. Commissioners, any questions? Miss,
Uh,
oh, go ahead, sir.
Can we, Steve, when we vote on this, prescribe a location for a sidewalk?
The authority of the P and Z is to approve or deny the request.
That's it. We
Yes, sir.
can't attach any conditions.
It's approve or deny. The location would be determined at the time of development, which is going to be at back of curb.
Okay, well, the reason I asked the question is if the curb is, or if the sidewalk is away from a curb, if a curb was built, the sidewalk would run into the neighbor's fence. Whereas if the sidewalk were next to the curb, the sidewalk would be able to go through.
So you're talking about lot 4 on Dale Street,
I'm talking about both lots on
both
Dale
lots,
Street.
because I've been out there. Although the curb and gutters the next.
We're having discussion before we.
they need
Yeah,
it
you know
so-
what?
But
We can't.
We need to put a pin in this because we're discussing it prior to everything. So let's put a pin in this and wait for a motion. Okay, Mr. Daddio, do you have anything else to offer regarding the specific
I hope
property?
everyone looked at the photos that are provided
Yes.
for Dale Street. As you enter Dale Street from 377, there are 2 homes that are built facing Choctaw. Their rear yards are to Dale Street. They have a fence right on the rear property line, which is maybe 6 feet from the pavement of the street. You get beyond those 2 lots, there are the 2 lots that we have in question. When you get beyond those 2, the other 3 frame homes face Dale Street with their front yards. So we're kind of in the middle
Mhm.
of someone that's got their fences on the rear property line and the others it's their front property line.
Is this the
So it's
correct,
kind of an oddball
is
situation.
this the correct photo, sir?
Correct, yes.
Thank you.
So, it's just odd, one side's one way and the other side's the other way, because the homes themselves face different streets.
Yeah.
It's just a peculiar setup. If we put a sidewalk in, that sidewalk has to be from the, I think it's from the property line in. Therefore, when that sidewalk goes in, the fence of the adjoining yards is gonna be, well, when you walk through that sidewalk, along that side, you're gonna run right into the fence.
Okay.
That was my point.
Okay, let's,
I
Let's
don't
go ahead
have
and-
anything else
yeah.
to say about it,
Okay.
except that it's kind of a hodgepodge situation over there.
I see.
And at the end of this street is an industrial area with industrial buildings and so forth, so it's not the dressiest neighborhood in town, I'll just
Okay.
put it that way.
Okay, thank you, sir. Let's go ahead and open a public hearing. Is anybody here wishing to speak in favor of this waiver request? Anybody wishing to speak against? All right, we can close the public hearing and let's have another motion, if we may.
Move to deny.
Tom moves to deny. Do we have a second?
Second.
Who was the second? Was it Bruce or?
Do Bruce.
Bruce or
Okay.
Brian,
Bruce?
take your pick.
We'll say Bruce to deny. Okay, so gentlemen, Bruce, why the shift?
First of all, Dale Street is much narrower than Choctaw, so there's no actual room to walk down the street. I walk throughout my neighborhood, we have wide streets. We don't need sidewalks in our neighborhood because the streets are wide enough. You're not impeded from walking by any motor traffic. In fact, cars going both directions, you still have room to walk. Dale Street is not that wide.
Others?
And there are
Yeah.
plenty of businesses within walking distance from this neighborhood. Grocery store, restaurant, paint store. I mean,
Okay.
totally different situation
Thank
on
you.
Dale Street as it is on Choctaw.
Thank you. Any further comments?
It is evident in looking at the Public Works civil information that's provided where the development was approved with the sidewalks and utilities and such. It's easy to put the information on the drawings and not really consider the ramifications. But I think that in all aspects of it and working with the city and the engineer, that some of those remedies can be resolved at the time they get ready to put this in. Once you look at what alternatives are available while we're to install the walk. So I don't really see that it's something that can't be resolved with the city engineer.
Okay, thank you. Are we ready to vote?
Yes.
All right, so as it stands, the motion is to recommend to council denial of this request to waive sidewalk requirements. And we're going to do it again as a roll call. So, Mr. Hines, are you in favor of the denial?
Yes.
Bruce?
Aye.
Justin?
No.
I'm a yes
Yes.
No.
and a no. So that is 4-2, so that will go forward with a positive, with a recommendation to city council to deny this request. And again, it's city council that will make the final decision, so you'll want to show up for the next city council meeting. Okay, moving on. Case number SV 2021-008. Applicant Kevin Maynard, representing Maynard Holdings Incorporated, is requesting a subdivision waiver from section 155.6.04.m.1 curb and gutter requirements to be constructed at 250 South Dale, parcel R77244, being lot 3 of the Trotter addition to the city of Stephenville, Erath County, Texas. Steve.
Yes, ma'am, Madam Chair and Commissioners, same comments. This case, again, has 2 letters of opposition. They're included in your packet, and I have them on the screen if you'd like to review them. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, the letters of opposition both were regarding fears about flooding, correct?
Correct.
Do I need to read them in, or is it sufficient that?
Commissioners all have them. I think it's your pleasure if you read it into the
Okay,
record.
I think we've all read them. And
Yes,
we're
ma'am.
Okay. All right, so, Mr. Daddio, can you please enlighten us as to why you're looking for curb and gutter waiver on this particular property?
Purely to keep with the way the neighborhood is right now,
Okay, just aesthetics.
basically, yeah.
Okay,
Outside of running a sidewalk and the side of the fence, kind of silly.
okay. Okay, thank you, sir. Let's go ahead and open the public hearing. Is there anybody here who wishes to speak in favor of this waiver request? Anybody who wishes to speak against? All right, we'll close the public hearing. Commissioners?
Drainage is a problem.
We need a motion before we
Motion.
can discuss.
Move to deny.
Okay, Tom's moving to deny. And do we have a second?
I'll second.
Bruce. All right, now, go ahead, Mr. Hines.
I myself am mystified as to why there was an application for the waiver, because there is no storm sewer available anywhere in this neighborhood. It all runs downhill from Dale Street down to the creek that is between this neighborhood and Bill's Small Engine and the trailer park behind it. And so all of the runoff runs down the street. So why someone would not want a curb and gutter is beyond me. In fact, I would think that the three remaining residences between this and the north end of Dale Street would be down here clamoring for the city to put in curb and gutter along that to keep the runoff out of their backyards.
Okay, any other points anybody else wish to discuss? Ready to vote? All right, the motion stands to recommend to City Council denial of the waiver for curb and gutter requirements at 250 South Dale. Mr. Hines, are you in favor of denying?
Yes.
Yes. Bruce?
Aye.
Justin?
No.
No. I'm a yes.
No.
Yes.
Yes. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it is again 4-2, and so this will move forward to council with a recommendation that they deny the waiver for curb and gutter requirements. So again, you'll have to go to city council, see their final vote on that. All right, moving on to case number SV 2021-009, applicant Kevin Maynard, representing Maynard Holdings Incorporated, is requesting a subdivision waiver from section 155.6.11 sidewalk requirements to be constructed at 244 South Dale, parcel R77243, being lot 2 of the Trotter addition to the city of Stephenville, Erath County, Texas. Steve.
Madam Chair, again, same comments. This case, no letters of opposition because it's for the sidewalk only, and the citizens did not express concern regarding the sidewalk waivers. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Daddio, do you have anything to add?
Nothing.
Okay, I'll open a public hearing. Anybody wish to speak in favor of this? Anybody wish to speak against? Closing the public hearings. Commissioners, I need a motion.
I'll make a motion, we deny.
Deny, and is there a second?
Second.
Tom is the second. Discussion or straight to vote?
I reiterate my comments from case SV 2021-007.
Okay. Let's go ahead and do a roll call vote. So the motion stands to deny the waiver request for sidewalks. Mr. Hines? Let me phrase it better. Are you in favor of denying the waiver
Yes.
request? Bruce?
Yes.
Justin?
No.
I'm a yes.
Yes.
No.
And no. So once again, we've got a 4-2 vote. So once again, it'll go forward to council with the recommendation that they deny this waiver request. And we are on to the final item for this parcel of land. Applicant Kevin Maynard, representing Maynard Holdings Incorporated, is requesting a subdivision waiver from sections 155.6.04.m.1 curb and gutter requirements to be constructed at 244 South Dale, parcel R77243, being lot 2 of the Trotter addition to the city of Stephenville, Erath County, Texas. Steve.
Same circumstances, again, 2 letters of opposition. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Daddio, anything to add?
No, ma'am?
Thank you, sir. I'll open a public hearing. Anybody wish to speak in favor? Anybody wish to speak against? Closing the public hearing. Commissioners, we need a motion.
I will again make the motion to deny.
And we need a second. Tom? All right. Let's go ahead and vote. So the motion stands to recommend to council denial of this curb and gutter waiver. Are you in favor, Mr. Hines?
Yes.
Bruce?
Yes.
Justin?
No.
I'm a yes. Bruce, or Brian?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so that we will recommend to council denial of this waiver for curb and gutter requirements. So again, you know the drill. This will go forth to council and you'll make your case there.
Very good.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate your
Thank
time.
you for your time, all of you.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
Thank you for coming down.
You bet.
All right, now we're moving on to case number FP 2021-001, applicant Justin Ferris, designating Steve Emmons to act on behalf of Spectra Student Living, is requesting approval of a final plat for properties located at 2241 West Tarleton, parcel R30333, being Lot 8E, Block 139 of City Edition, 2241 Tarleton, parcel R30330, being Lot 2, Block 3 of the Cayley subdivision, and 0 Ella Court, parcel R73194, being Lot 1, Block 3 of the Cayley subdivision to the City of Stephenville, Erath County, Texas.
I'm so glad you reviewed that for me. Thank you, Madam Chair. So many of you may recognize Mr. Steve Emmons. He's here in the audience tonight, and you probably have recollection of the PD request and approval and the project over on Tarleton. It's been something that you guys have seen on multiple occasions, and we've revisited on a couple of different occasions. He has Mr. John Pedelet with him tonight as well. That's one of his business associates. And they are requesting approval of a final plat. We received the final plat related to the project late last week and began reviewing the plat. And we have provided 23 different comments back regarding items on the plat that we feel need to be corrected or adjusted, mainly just references to distances and things of that nature. There are also some things that we're asking be brought to completion relating to the public improvements. And if you look at the final plat requirements, everything we have listed in these 23 items are items that have to be completed with the development before we can actually approve the final plat and move it over to City Council and then ultimately to the county for recordation. At the bottom of the staff report, it mentions that there are 3 alternatives for the commissioners as far as the determination of this plat. That's to either approve the final plat, approve the plat with conditions, and until those conditions are met, the plat is considered denied. And then the last option is to deny the final plat. Staff has a staff recommendation included at the top of the staff report, so scroll back up here. We're requesting the Planning and Zoning Commission recommend the City Council grant a conditional approval of the final plat pending completion of the 23 item list. The item shall be completed and corrected, and a corrected final plat submitted no later than December 11, 2021. If any items are not completed by December 11, 2021, the final plat will be therefore denied, requiring subsequent action before the Planning and Zoning Commission. So Mr. Emmons has a PowerPoint presentation for us tonight, and I'd just like to reiterate that they brought a project to us that was the first considerations were denied by P&Z and City Council. They worked with us and found a way to get a project on the ground that was a better fit for the neighborhood. And they have student housing with 13 single-family lots on the backside of the property that they acquired. They have been working very diligently to get to the end of that project. They have most of the public improvements installed and pending acceptance at this time. We were out on final inspections today for the buildings. There were a few items noted, but nothing of great significance. So we are hopeful that the project can be completed by the date stated in the recommendation and allow them to obtain those permanent COs related to the project. So with that, I'd be glad to answer any questions.
Okay, I have a question for you, Steve. If there's that many conditions, it begs the question, why was this brought to us now instead of next month? You've established a December 11th deadline. Our P&Z meeting is 4 days after that in December. So I was just questioning.
That's a really good question, Commissioner DeLauder, and I appreciate you bringing that forward. The city has been working with the developer, and they offer student housing in the
Right.
multifamily buildings. They had students that had signed up for leases, and they needed temporary occupancy, so we reviewed 6 of their 8 buildings, and they had all life safety items addressed. The
Okay.
city allowed temporary occupancy of those buildings with a December 12th deadline of getting everything corrected. So what we're trying to do is get this across the finish line, allow them to get those permanent COs, and the final plat be filed and recorded before the deadline is upon us.
I see, okay,
Yes,
okay.
sir.
So
I understand that.
how much of this infrastructure is in without the final plat being, I mean, is it almost all completed?
We are very
Just-
close to completion.
Just the multifamily.
Oh, I
The
see.
single family haven't even been started.
The single-family
That's
residences have not been
groundwork.
started. The curb gutter is all, and streets have all been laid, and there are some sidewalks that remain to be poured. But there's not at Phelps to Charlotte, there's sidewalk required there. There's also sidewalk at any location of a flume along Ella Court. There are sidewalks to be poured over the flumes. Other than that, I think we have it. Mr. Emmons can speak to this a little more thoroughly, but I believe we have everything ready for inspection. Once their engineer provides the letter of certification, we should be ready to
Can-
move forward with the acceptance.
Can you go to the actual plat?
Yes,
up
sir.
here on the
Yes,
screen?
sir, I sure can. So, I believe where you're going with this, Mr. Glotter.
I'm unfamiliar with Ella Court. that's
Okay,
why.
so if we look at the
Phelps
top right-hand
comes in
corner,
off of,
top right-hand corner, the bigger square, that's where the apartment buildings are located, the multifamily buildings. So,
right here.
yes, sir.
Okay, this is Tarleton here.
Yes, sir.
Now, what is
The
Ella?
two
Oh,
cul-de-sacs
this,
represent
okay.
Ella Court.
That's a new street.
That's 13 single-family residential homes.
But Ella
lots
Court
on
is a
Ella
new
Court.
street.
It's a new
It
street.
has not existed in Stephenville
Accessed
before.
by Phelps on the
Okay.
east side.
Yeah,
Correct.
yeah, because I noticed driving by today that we now have access from Phelps when it was not planned initially, so, okay.
Okay. Any other questions for Steve? All right, Mr. Emmons, would you like to go ahead and give your presentation?
Good evening again. Steve Emmons, Inspector Student Living, with offices in Indianapolis, Indiana. Thank you for having me here tonight. Thank you, Stephen. And members of the commission. As Steve previously said, there are 13 single-family lots and 1 multifamily lot that we are requesting final plat on this evening with the conditions previously stated. The plat is as submitted as the preliminary plat with a couple minor changes that the city requested back in October. And those changes were the modification to the drainage easement and then additional 21-foot utility easement on the east side of the property. The plot has been reviewed by city staff and we've received the 23 comments. Eagle Surveying is working to update that plat and to resubmit it as requested by the city. The request for the conditional approval of the final plat include the 23 conditions that the city has brought to us, along with the submission and acceptance of the as-built drawings, which are underway. Approval of the public work improvements, which we are down to, the flume sidewalks are actually in. We have the section of sidewalk that we met with the official from the engineering department this afternoon. And there's some joint sealing that has to be done. Other than that, all of the infrastructure for both projects is complete. I'm sorry, I lost my place for a second. Mr. Killen asked if I'd give kind of an overview of the project so you can see where we're at to date. So we put together a short presentation. As you can see, we've completed a tremendous amount of work. This is the single-family lots, which is Ella Court. The first view is coming in off of Phelps from Charlotte. The next few views are one towards Mimosa Court of one half of the subdivision, and then the other view is looking towards the multifamily development of Fireside. That's just a reference point. We've received a lot of compliments on the exterior facade of the buildings, kind of a modern approach, and it's been very well received by the community. I'm sorry, I lost my place again. Fire District, I think, is a great addition to the community. We've received numerous compliments on the landscaping done by Level Landscaping. I think we skipped past that. I'm sorry, I'm usually not this
You're fine.
scattered.
No, don't worry about it.
Usually I'm
It's
afraid
late,
to-
we're tired and hungry, I
Yeah.
get
You're
it.
not showing the students moving in yet.
Okay, so the landscaping, like I said, it was done a great job by a local firm, Level Landscaping. The interior of the buildings that's the clubhouse, which is a nice amenity for the residents and students. And we don't just rent to students, we do rent to other residents in the community. The pool is completed and ready for occupancy and use, weather permitting. And then all our units are fully furnished with a modern flare. We have stainless steel appliances, and it's been very well received, not only for students and residents for this year, but also for next year. Spectra Student Living would like to thank the City of Stephenville for all their efforts in making Fireside District and Ella Court subdivision part of the community. I'm happy to answer any questions regarding the final plat for our project. I request that the Planning and Zoning Board accept the final plat with the previous submission conditions, and I thank you for your time, both this evening and in the past.
Thank you, sir. Commissioners, do you have any questions for Mr. Emmons?
I'd like to compliment you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thanks.
We will go ahead and open do we need a public hearing for this? Steve?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we'll go ahead and open a public